Hello students, so I am back with a new poem today, a doctor's general entry for August 16, 1945. Basically, this poem is an anti-war poem in which the poet is actually criticizing and he is actually lamenting upon the harmful effects of war. So this poem is in the form of a journal entry, and this poem highlights after effects of atomic bomb which was dropped by USA on Japan, so that the emperor of Japan should surrender and end World War II. So the name of the bomb, atomic bomb, is Little Boy. So basically, this poem tells us that what drastic effect that bomb had on simple people during wars. It's just not one person who's affected. In fact, the entire community is shattered. So through this poem, we will see the agony, the pain and suffering of common people. So let's begin. A doctor's general entry for August 6, 1945 by Vikram Seth. The morning stretched calm, beautiful and warm. So this is irony. At the very beginning, the poem starts with an irony. Yeah, morning was very beautiful, it was peaceful and it was calm, but it was preceded by trail of destruction. Many destructions were caused just after this. Although the morning was peaceful, calm, beautiful, that means when the day dawned, it was beautiful, it was peaceful. Sprawling, half-clad, stretching. Sprawling means stretching. Half-clad means not fully covered. Early in the morning, generally, people wear Bermudas and all. So the doctor was also just, he was stretching himself. He was half-clad, half-dressed. I gazed out at the form of shimmering leaves and shadows. So the doctor, he just takes a look outside his window. He gazed out of shimmering. Shimmering means shining leaves and shadows. Suddenly, a strong flash, then another, startled me. He suddenly observes two sudden flashes. Startled means he was taken aback, shocked. Oh my God, एकदम से ये कैसी lights हैं? He was not able to make out कितनी एकदम से कहाँ से ये इतनी तेज light आ रही है. I saw the old stone lantern brightly lit. See, old lantern, stone lantern जो होते हैं, ये Japanese और China की तरफ, they are very, very popular traditional lanterns which were made of stone. मैग्नीशियम फ्लेयर्स, वो देखता है एकदम से सारे स्टोन लॉल्टेन्स जल गए हैं तो वो कंसिडर करते हैं कि ये मैग्नीशियम फ्लेयर्स है. मैग्नीशियम फ्लेयर्स वर एक्चुअली सीन ड्यूरिंग वॉर्स. दे वर क्वाइट कॉमन टू सी ड्यूरिंग वॉर्स. ब्राइटली लिट होते हैं, फ्लेयर्स होते हैं. While I debated whether these are magnesium flares or not, जब मेरे दिमाग में ये सारा डिबेट चल ही रहा था, the roof, the wall, and it seemed the world collapsed in timber and debris. See, यहाँ पे हाइपरबोल है. हाइपरबोल मीन्स एग्जैजरेशन. सो यहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं द रूफ, नॉट ओनली जस्ट द रूफ. जैसे ही वो मैग्नीशियम फ्लेयर्स गिरते हैं, जस्ट नॉट द रूफ बट ऑल्सो द वॉल्स एंड इनफैक्ट द इंटायर वर्ल्ड सीम टू कोलैप्स. सबको धम 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 हो जाता है. इतने सडन होता है कि किसी को समझ में नहीं आता है कि ये हुआ क्या है. कोलैप्स्ड इन टिम्बर. टिम्बर मीन्स वुड एंड डेब्रिस. डेब्रिस का मतलब होता है लाइक स्मॉल स्मॉल फ्रैगमेंट्स ऑफ wrecks. मलबा जो हम लोग बोलते हैं, सब कुछ मलबे में कन्वर्ट हो गया था. डस्ट स्वर्ल्ड. स्वर्ल्ड का मतलब होता है मूव इन अ सर्कुलर मैनर. कस कस के हवा में धूल उड़ने लगती है, एकदम से पूरी पूरी बिल्डिंग को लैप्स कर जाती हैं. अराउंड मी and in the garden now earlier he was standing in his balcony and suddenly he observes that he's standing in the garden. पूरी बिल्डिंग नीचे गिर गई है. And weird, my drawers and undershirt disappeared. See, it was weird means strange. It was very strange that his knicker, his undershirt, banyan disappeared. They suddenly disappeared. That means they got burnt. Suddenly जो भी वो कपड़े पहना था सब गायब हो जाते हैं. A splinter jutted from my mangled thigh. See, splinter is a sharp piece. It can be either a wood or a glass, anything. So, उसके थाई में एक sharp piece भी घुस गया था, किसी लकड़ी का या glass का. Jutted means protruded, निकल रहा था, body में से part निकल रहा था. From his mangled means mutilated thigh. My right side bled. And my cheek was torn. So right side was bleeding. Right part of the body was bleeding. His cheek was also torn. And I dislodged. Dislodged means removed. detachedly, separately, a piece of glass. So basically जो bleeding हो रही थी वो because of a piece of glass थी जो कि उसके body से वो separate करता है. All the time wondering what had come to pass. Everything happened in such a short span of time that what had come to pass means what had happened. He was not able to make out कि ये हुआ क्या है. Where was my wife? See, again, although he is in a very, very problematic, painful condition, but he is actually very, very genuine kind of a man. He immediately remembers, where is my wife? He's concerned husband. Alarmed, I gave a shout, frightened. Oh my God, whether she's fine, whether my wife is absolutely fine or not. Where are you, Yoko-san? Oh, where are you? My blood gushed out. It was flowing out with a lot of force. The blood was oozing out. The artery in my neck. So he's talking about jugular. It's a vein which connects the brain to all the parts of the body. So since he's a doctor, he knows कि कहीं उसके जब खून निकल रहा है वो देख रहा है उसके ब्लड आ रहा है तो उसके दिमाग में जा रहा है कहीं मेरी मेन आर्टरी तो नहीं कट गई है कहीं उसमें तो नहीं कुछ हो गया है. Scared for my life, of course, anyone would be. अगर वो कट जाएगी तो definitely he would die. I called out, panic stricken. Panic stricken means affected by fear. मैं बहुत ज़्यादा डर गया था. मैंने चिल्लाया to my wife. I called my wife. Pale. Pale means, of course, pale का मतलब होता है पीला पड़ जाना. जब इंसान बहुत ज़्यादा डर जाता है, हड़बड़ा जाता है, तो we tend to become pale. Pale. Bloodstained. Bloodstained means marked with blood. Frightened. एकदम से डरी हुई. Yoko-san emerged, so she also comes out, holding her elbow. Probably she must have hurt her elbow. उसकी elbow में कहीं चोट लगी होगी. So Yoko-san also emerges while holding her elbow. We will be fine, I urged. He encourages his wife. कोई बात नहीं, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. Let's get out quickly. चलो पहले बाहर निकलते हैं. Stumbling to the street, we fell. Partially falling, almost लड़खड़ाते हुए, गिरते हुए हम लोग बाहर निकलते हैं. Tripped by something at our feet. We were stumbled. हम लोग निकलते हैं पैर कुछ किसी चीज से लड़खड़ा जाता है stumble कर जाता है. I gasped out. Gasp मतलब taken aback. When I saw it was a head. Oh my God. It was the head जिससे मेरा पैर लड़खड़ाया और मैं stumble कर गया. Excuse me. Please excuse me. He was dead. So जिसका सर लड़खड़ाया ये उससे कह रहे excuse me, but the man had already died. So this shows the agony and pain of common people. Very few were able to survive, whereas most of them had succumbed to death. A gate had crushed him. So जब बिल्डिंग गिरी होगी उसमें गेट हो गए वो उसी के ऊपर गिर गया और वो उसकी वजह से मर चुका था. There we stood afraid. Of course, कोई भी डेड बॉडी देख ले इतना एकदम से chaotic situation देख ले तो they were scared. A house standing before us tilted. It had slanted, swayed, moved from side to side, हिल रहा था, toppled and crashed. It simply toppled means crashed, collapse. एकदम से धम से करके crash कर जाता है. Fire sprang up in the dust spread by the wind. So as soon as the house collapses, there was fire, and it was और वो wind से और ज़्यादा भड़क जाती है fire. It dawned on us we must get to the hospital. So it came to the mind of the doctor that they should take medical help. And this is the reason they decided to move towards the hospital. We needed aid. We needed help. And I should help my staff too. See, human goodness. Although he himself is in a very, very problematic situation, but the goodness within the doctor does not die. Though this made sense to me then, I wonder how could I. बाद में इसको रियलाइज होता है मुझे हेल्प तो करनी चाहिए अपने स्टाफ की, बट मैं कैसे करूँ. हेल्प तो हम तब करेंगे ना जब हम लोग खुद स्ट्रॉन्ग होंगे. जब हम ही वीक हैं, हमारे अंदर वही कैपेसिटी नहीं है एंड्योरेंस की, हम उनकी कैसे हेल्प करेंगे. My legs gave way. So his legs did not support him. They gave way means they were not ready to move ahead. His legs were tired. I sat down on the ground. So again probably कुछ bleeding है या कोई ना कुछ reason की वजह से his legs could not carry him any further and he decided to sit down on the ground. Thirst seized me. He was feeling very thirsty. But no water could be found. Of course, वहाँ पे इतना ज़्यादा मलबा, आग, chaos था कि कहीं पे भी पानी available नहीं था. My breath was short, but bit by bit my strength seemed to revive. Revive means restore. Breath was short means this is breath short. जल्दी सांस लेना. But धीरे धीरे इसकी strength revive होती है. I got up after some time. Finally, I decided to get up. I was still still naked. He was still not wearing any clothes. His clothes had been burnt. So यहाँ पे naked पे एक और चीज symbolize हो रही है that humanity has been deprived. Not only clothes were burnt, बल्कि humanity deprived हो गई थी. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर कोई nation दूसरे nation पे bomb डाल रहा है, so this can be very very against the law of nature. We should not behave, वो किसी भी कितने भी हमारे एनिमीज क्यों ना हो, लेकिन हमें फिर भी सोचना चाहिए ह्यूमैनिटी शुड स्टिल बी देयर, राइट. सो आई वाज स्टिल नेकेड बट आई फेल्ट नो शेम. लेकिन मुझे बिल्कुल भी शेम नहीं फील हो रहा था. दिस थॉट डिस्टर्ब मी समवॉट टिल आई केम अपॉन अ सोल्जर स्टैंडिंग साइलेंटली. He wasn't feeling shamed. Why? Because it was so chaotic. It was so normal to see so many people. But दिमाग में चल तो रहा था. Finally उसको एक soldier दिखाई देता है. He still also trying to comprehend ये हुआ क्या है, कैसे हुआ. Who gave the towel round his neck to me? So वो अपनी टाल से पार्ट करता है और इसको डॉक्टर को टाल दे देते हैं कि you can cover up yourself. My legs stiff with dried blood rebelled. So his legs were not ready to move ahead and they rebelled. That means they said no, I cannot move any further. So his legs were not ready to support him. कहते हैं जवाब दे देना, तो पैर उसके जवाब दे दिए थे, वो उसको कैरी नहीं कर पा रहे थे. I said to Yoko-san, she must go on ahead. So again, वो कहता है अपनी वाइफ से कि भाई मैं नहीं जा पाता हूँ, लेकिन तुम्हें तो आगे जाना चाहिए ना. You should at least go towards the hospital. She did not wish to, but in our distress, what choice we had? See, although she never wanted to leave her husband in this desperate situation, but again, they had no option. उसको जाना पड़ता है, at least किसी की तो जान बच जाए. A dreadful loneliness came over me when she had gone. Personification. Of course, अभी तक उसकी wife थी उसके साथ, तो उसको एक तरह का mental satisfaction था. But now, as soon as his wife leaves him, so he is affected by a lot of loneliness. My mind ran at high speed. My body crept behind. See, mind में तो बहुत सारे ideas आ रहे हैं, but body was not supporting those ideas. दिमाग तो बहुत तेजी से चल रहा है, लेकिन body उतनी तेजी से चल ही नहीं पा रही थी, move ही नहीं कर पा रही थी. I saw the shadowy forms of people. Some were ghosts, some scarecrows, all were wordless dumb. See, mental agony को यहाँ पे depict कर रहे हैं, how painful it was. I saw shadowy forms of people. सब black हो रखे थे. Some were ghosts, they were looking like ghosts. Some scarecrow ऐसे चलता है ना. Scarecrows वो होते हैं जो कि हम लोग खेतों में लगा देते हैं birds को भगाने के लिए. So कुछ scarecrow जैसे लग रहे थे. But one thing was common to all, wordless dumb. No one was speaking anything because everyone was shocked. Everyone was absolutely अमेज्ड कि हुआ क्या एकदम से. सब कुछ तो इतना नॉर्मल था, सडनली आउट ऑफ द ब्लू मून पता नहीं एकदम से क्या हुआ कि सब कुछ खत्म हो गया. Arms stretched straight out. Most of the people were moving like this. Arms stretched out. सब लोग ऐसे ऐसे चल रहे थे. Shoulder to dangling hands. Shoulder to dangling. Dangling means hanging hands. सबके हाथ ऐसे ऐसे dangle हो रहे थे. It took some time for me to understand. The friction on their burns caused so much pain. See, जब कोई जल जाता है तो अगर बॉडी अपने दूसरे पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी से रब करती है, फ्रिक्शन कॉज होता है, तो इट गिव्स अ लॉट ऑफ पेन. तब उसको समझ में आया, अच्छा ये लोग अपने हाथ रेस करके इसलिए चल रहे हैं बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द पार्ट्स ऑफ द बॉडी हैव बीन बर्न, और वो फ्रिक्शन से और ज़्यादा पेन हो रहा है उनको. They feared to shaft flesh against flesh again. So they were scared that उनका फ्लैश अगेंस्ट फ्लैश कहीं पे वापस से रगड़ ना खाए. आपस में रगड़ खाएगा तो पेन होगा. Those who could shuffled in a blank parade towards the hospital. See, those who could walk voluntarily, they were moving as if in a trance towards the hospital. अब बिल्कुल बस उनको पता नहीं है, बस वो लोग चले जा रहे हैं हॉस्पिटल की तरफ. पता नहीं किस उसमें, because they do not know what has happened. Again, everyone is shocked, amazed, still not able to make out कि हुआ क्या है. I saw dismayed. Dismayed means discouraged. A woman with a child stand in my path, both naked. So it was something very, very unusual. The sights were very, very scary, very, very unusual. वो क्या देखता है कि एक women एक बच्चे के साथ खड़ी हुई है and both are not wearing anything. Had they come back from the bath? क्या ये लोग कपड़े नहीं पहने हैं? क्या ये लोग बाथ के बाद आए हैं? समझ ही में नहीं आ रहा था. why the women is standing with the child and they are not wearing anything. ऐसा क्या है? क्या ये लोग बाथ से आए हैं? क्या नहा के आए हैं? I turned my gaze. He tried to ignore them. He was not able to see this pathetic condition, so he simply turns his gaze, but at a loss that she should stand thus. And he was not able to understand the situation, that why is she standing like this? Why is she not wearing anything? And now the thought arose that some strange thing had stripped us of our clothes. Then he was able to realize कि कुछ strange चीज हुई है जिसकी वजह से हम सबके कपड़े उतर गए हैं, सबके कपड़े गायब हो गए हैं. But was at a loss that she should stand thus. Till I came across a naked man, and now the thought arose that some strange thing had stripped us of our clothes. So when he saw a naked man, then the thought actually came to his mind that something strange has happened with us, which has taken away our clothes. कुछ हुआ है जिसकी वजह से हम सबके कपड़े गायब हो गए. अभी तक उसको समझ ही में नहीं आ रहा था, इतना रैपिड, इतना क्विक ये सब हुआ कि he was not able to comprehend the situation. The face of an old woman on the ground was marred with suffering. Marred means affected. So he saw an old woman lying on the ground whose face was all disfigured because of suffering. बहुत ही marred means affected because of suffering. She made no sound. Again, she wasn't speaking anything. Why? Because utter shock. सब शॉक में थे. हुआ क्या है? सब पेन में है, सब सफर कर रहे हैं, लेकिन कोई कुछ बोल नहीं रहा है. Silence was common to all. So, but she made no sound. She did not complain. Silence was common to all. Silence was a common feature for all of them because of the shock. I heard no cries of anguish. Cries of anguish means complaint of pains or a single word. Everyone was shocked. They were speechless. In fact, they could not cry, although they were in excessive pain. So in the end, we can say that this poem depicts the agony or pain and suffering caused by the nuclear war, and it depicts the horrors of the nuclear war. It talks about the humiliation and nakedness caused by bombing. Greater was the shock that paralyzed them, rendering them incapable of reacting to their own nakedness. It even highlights the moral nakedness of those who penetrated such a brutal act on them. So students, hope you people must have understood the chapter. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. Till then, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Bye.